Our math lesson for this week is going to be focusing on the topic or objective of base tens and composing and decomposing numbers. So, one of the things I want you to remember and to think about is that all teen numbers start with 10. So, I've given you some examples here 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and so on, all the way through 19. As you can see, they have a 1 in front of them. So, this means they start with a group of 10. Now, we've talked about different ways that you can show numbers. You can show them by using counters, by using base tens or tens rods or 10 sticks and ones cubes and 10 frames. So today we're going to talk about how we can look at our teen numbers and use base tens to make them. So here I've given you an example of some counters. Now if we count those counters, let's do so. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. That number is showing 15. Now, counters is one way to show that number, but I can even take it a step further and break this into tens and ones. So, in counting, I can make a group of 10 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And what I'm going to do is draw a circle around them. So I have one group of 10 and then I have a group of 5. So another way for me to say the number 15 would be to say I can have one group of 10 and one group of 5. Now another way we can look at that is using base tens or tens rods. So if you recall, base tens are where we take the ones and we stick them together and they make a stack of 10. So if I was to count these, there would be 10 here. I'm going to demonstrate so that you can see that and feel free to count along with me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So here we have a tens rod or 10 stick as some people call that. So this is 10. And then here are our ones squares that are out here by themselves. So if I saw this number, I would say, oh, there's a tens rod, so that means I have 10. And then I just count on 11, 12. So this number right here would be showing us the number 12. We have one tens rods and two ones. Now another way you can show numbers is using a tens frame. Now because we're talking about teen numbers, we know that we have more than 10. So I'm going to have to use more than one tens frame here. So I'm going to move us a little closer so I can demonstrate this example. So if I was to ask you to show me the number, let's say 16 for example. Now automatically, because we've talked about how teen numbers always start with 10, I know I'm going to at least have 10 filled in on a tens frame because it's a teen number and it was 16. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and fill in this top tens frame because I know it has at least 10. Now I could count them, but we've learned this year as we've practiced with 10 frames that if I look at it and it's all filled in, that's showing me 10. So there's really not a need for me to count it. So there is 10 there. But I wanted to show 16, so I'm not done yet. So now I'm going to add more to get to 16. So we had 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16. So using a tens frame, I've shown 16 by taking a one group of 10 and 6 ones and putting that together to make 16. Now, composing, decomposing numbers is a very big word, but it's actually very simple. Composing means put together, decomposing means take apart. So we're going to actually practice using some tens rods and some 1 squares on composing and decomposing numbers. So over here I have some tens rods and I have some 1 squares, and just to make it easier for us to see, we're going to place everything on this mat. So the first thing we're going to practice is on composing numbers. Remember, composing means to put together. So if I was to show you this, and if I was to take some 1's cubes and put those down on our mat, let's think about what number this would make. So take a moment and see if you can figure out what number this is making. The number you should have gotten is 14. And let me show you how we got that. Well, we have 1 tens rod, so that's automatically 10. And then I count on 11, 12, 13, 14. So we've showed the number 14. Let's try another. So let me clear off our mat. Let's put down our tens rods again. And let's add some 1 squares. I want you to try to count as I'm adding to see what number this makes. So take a moment and see what number this is showing. Okay. This number is 17. And here's how we got that. Well, we have that tens rod again, so that's a group of 10. So there's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So for this, we've composed numbers. We've put 2 things together to make it. We've put tens and 1s, and we've made our teen number. Now this time, let's practice decomposing, which means taking apart. So if I was to say, all right, show me 11, how are you going to break that down? Well, that's a teen number, so it starts with 10. So I'm going to go ahead and take my base 10, and there's 10. But I don't want to show 10, I want to show 11. So if I'm at 10, if I add 1 more, now I have showed the number 11. 10, 11. So let's do another example of decomposing. So here, we're going to start with 18. Okay, so let's see how we can put this together to make 18 using tens rods and 1s. So again, teen number, there's the one that shows us that. We're going to have a group of 10, so there's our tens rod or 10 stick, whichever you call it, and now we have to add the 1s. So here's another tip to help you. The 1 means there's 10, and this second number shows you how many 1s there are going to be. So this number is 8, so there's going to be 8 1s. So let's put down 8 and then check and see. Okay, so here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, now let's check and see if that was true. If I had 1, I put down 1 tens rods, and since there was 8, I put down 8 1's cubes. But let's count and see if that's true. So here's 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So this week, as you're doing your math activities, you're going to be seeing quite a bit of work with using base 10s and 1 squares and talking about composing and decomposing numbers. So I hope that this video will help you. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. Thanks so much and have a great day.